Hello, and welcome to Ritual for Beginners. My name is Reverend Pamela Maxwell Griffith. I will be joined by my co host, Reverend Mary Hawks, and we're going to walk you through some rituals. This short video at the beginning of our first ritual is just going to give you a little insight as to what to expect. This is a year-long series which is presented by the Correllian Nativist tradition through the Correllian Educational Ministries, CEO. We hope that you really enjoy it. We're going to be having dark moon, full moon, and all the holidays. Each ritual will be presented as close to its timing as we can possibly get it. You will see the full ritual, but this short video is just to give you an idea placement of tools that you might need, and just to give you a little insight onto what to expect from a ritual. Hopefully you will enjoy the series. The series is going to be broadcast and then it's going to be on individual platforms that you can go back and look at it. Our chats will be open after each ritual so that you will be able to ask questions, and we'll have a Q&A session for as long as we need to. I do hope you enjoy it. Now, if you give me a second, I can get the camera turned around and we'll be ready to start. Well, welcome back. We're going to show you a little bit about an altar and where some of the placement is so that you'll understand. This is an old secretary that was up for sale in my neighborhood. It was very inexpensive. So every altar is different with every person. You may not be as lucky as me to be able to set this into your living room, but you can use a shelf. There are many altars. They can be whatever you need them to be and wherever you need them to be. I was just fortunate enough to find this one. And I absolutely love it because it gives me 3 drawers and lots of room for all my junk. So we're going to open up the secretary. Okay, here we go. I had to repaint this, and I've painted it with a very shiny varnish paint so that the wax tends to come off a little bit better. Always remember that when you do an altar, you want to make sure you're able to clean the surface. If you need to put an altar cloth down, again, remember that that is flammable. I'm the queen of flammable. I have burned altars. I have burned robes. I'm really good at it, and I'm not a fire sign. So first of all, we're just going to show you placement of a few things. This is spirit, this is goddess, and this is God. And now we're going to do our quarters. East for me is that way, so that's east. This is obviously west. Little green one come here. And let me put my red one out here so that you can see it. Okay, so that's a basic altar setup right there. You have your 4 quarters. We start in the east, so it's east, south, west, and north. The easiest way to find east is figure out where the sun rises or figure out where the sun sets, because it sets in the east, sets in the west and rises in the east, so that makes it easier. Now, I'm fortunate to have all of this good junk really close by. The only other 2 things that you might need on your altar. Now, your altar is split in 2. The left side is goddess, so anything that relates to the goddess, such as your chalice, should go on the left side. Your right side is for your God. Now, you don't need to have both a wand and an anathema, but I just have them both here so that you can see where they're at. And they go right here. I have my little censer, my little burning there. So now we have it set up. I am very fortunate to have a lot of cool little knickknacks that I've collected over the years. After you've been on this path for a while, you'll find that you do collect a lot of things. This is my miniature broom. I do a lot of rituals online. So it's easier when they say to clean it with a besom rather than dragging out my full besom. It is so much easier and on camera to use this one. So this comes in very handy. I do have my snuffer. This is, of course, for cakes and ale. We place our cakes on it. This is my blessed moon water. And usually it's sitting inside here. I have it out for some reason today. I have my smaller cups for water and salt, and I use my cauldron when I burn incense for air and fire. I also have a bell and a whole bunch of other nice, cool collected things that I've collected over the years to use. The main thing you want to remember with your altar is you are working with fire, so please be careful of feathers. They're really cool, but they catch fire very quickly. Long sleeves, if you have the big robes with the big sleeves, please remember to pull them back as you light. The only thing I'm missing is my fire stick. And since we're not going to start yet, I'm going to leave that over there for less temptation to start a small fire here. Your altar can be anything. You don't have to purchase anything for the altar. You can make about 90% of what's here. You don't need the candle holders. I just like them. They're pentacles, so it makes it kind of nice. I love dragons, so I have a dragon, and I have my larger pentacle on the altar that holds spirit. Now, if I'm going to do a lot of burning, again, this is wood. Those little cauldrons do put off a lot of heat and those legs get very warm. I like to set it on the metal or on a cork board so it doesn't burn through. So a ritual, what does it contain? The first part of the ritual is actually cleansing your space. And it can be done many ways by the 4 elements with a besom, however you'd like to clean it. Then you cast it. Casting can be done with a wand or an athame or even your finger if you don't have one right now. Then the next thing we do is we start calling our quarters. When we call our quarters, we imagine a bright white light coming down at the quarter. So we start with our east, then we go to the south, we're going clockwise, then we go to west, and then we go to earth, which is north. Then we light spirit. This is our ancestor candle. This is the ancestors of all the Corellians, and it's our ancestors, but what we call clan and kin. So if you have an ancestor, no matter what tradition they were in, it might be something you want to visualize as you call it in. But as each candle is lit, you think about the element that matches with that candle. Air is the yellow candle, but it's also anything that flies. South is fire and dragons and salamanders and all kinds of cool stuff. West is water, and that's dolphins or anything in the sea. And north is gnomes, it's earth, stability. So as you call each quarter, you're going to imagine a light coming down. When we cast circle, you're going to imagine that white light going around us. Now we're going to call in ancestors, and that's fun. You get to call in your ancestors however you'd like to. Then we call God and Goddess. Once we have all that in, the next step is we're going to look at our active power. The active power relates to the moon or full moon, dark moon, or the holiday you're celebrating. So you work on your active power. Once that's done, my favorite part is the cakes and ale afterwards. So we always have cakes, which I have on a little platter normally, and I have my ale or wine or water. It's whatever you prefer in your cup. They are blessed, and then you enjoy them. After that, we start to settle down. This is our grounding area, is cakes and ale. So that helps ground you after all of that energy that you've just expanded. We close, we start at south, and we close around. We close down God and Goddess, we close down spirit, and then we close our circle. And the ritual is over. So you're going to be seeing a lot of rituals. As we do them, we will close. We will have our Q&A up, our chat. So we're ready to answer any questions you might have. Please ask the question. It might feel kind of funny. We don't give anybody's name out when you ask. We read the question and then we answer it for you, so nobody has to feel intimidated. These are learning rituals. So as we do the ritual, I will explain. Each piece will be explained to you as we do it. You will get a copy of the ritual in the chat that you can download and have so that you can practice it yourself. Hopefully by the time we're done a year of these, that you will feel confident enough to walk into any circle and practice ritual. The one thing you must remember, there are a few etiquette items that I feel are extremely important that I do like to remind people. The first one is when you come to a circle, if you've been invited, please find out if you need to bring anything ahead of time. A lot of times we will do an act of power that will require a pen or pencil and paper or whatever. Usually the host will normally provide that for you, but if not, they will tell you what you need to bring. If the circle seems very, very strict and very, very concentrated, just follow it. Some circles are very fun and people have a good time in them. Some circles are a little bit more serious than others. And it really doesn't matter. It's the intent of the heart. but you don't want to be messing up. If everybody's very serious, you don't want to come on as the jokester, and vice versa. Circle etiquette also includes never, ever, ever touching a ritual tool that is on an altar. Um, Ritual tools can be very, very personal to the people. I used to have two sets of ritual tools, and I still do. I have a teaching set, which I put out on my altar, and anybody can touch. I don't mind. But I also have my personal set, and my personal set is very sacred to me. So I never take it out. It never leaves my house, and I only use it for myself. But when I teach or when I do ritual online, I usually use my teaching stuff. So that way you can see what goes on. And I'm not very harmed or horrified if somebody touches my tools. The other thing you just want to keep in mind is depending upon the circle you're at, they most circles will either pass around water, wine, a fruit juice, or something like that. If it is something that you cannot, if it is wine and you're on medication and cannot drink it, then you just pass it on to the next person. You don't have to make a big fuss over it. I have in the last few years learned to pass around two chalices, one with water and one with wine. That way, especially if you have children with you, the children get the water or the fruit juice and the adults get the wine. So that just makes a little difference there. Your altar can be as elaborate and as fancy as you want, or it can be kind of mine. Mine's more of a Unitarian altar because it's just, you know, just sits there and there's not much on it. Um, I like this kind of altar because cleaning it is wonderful, and it kind of looks nice most of the time. And for me, it's really easy to put away. So I can just put my things away and I'm ready for the next big ritual that we have. And the great thing about this is because I have everything here and I do have the drawers, um, we can close. And I have drawers where I can shove all of this wonderful stuff. Now, when you do your altar at home, you can decorate it any way you want to. Usually, I try to do seasonal decorations or decorations for the moon that we're doing. The little dollar store picks work great. Please do not go out and spend a fortune on your altar. There's so many more other things that you're going to want to purchase. I know it's really cool to want to go out and buy all the coolest and neatest things you can find, but for right now, I would say don't be spending a lot of money on your altar. Save that money maybe for something else that you want. But I do recommend that you start an altar. If you're going to start one, I recommend the thrift stores such as Goodwill, Salvation Army, or your local thrift stores where you can pick up some really cool stuff. A lot of your chalices can come from the dollar store or from some really cool um, glasses that you buy at a secondhand store. You can etch them with some acid etching that you pick up at any of your local craft stores, and it can be your personal chalice. So that makes it really lots of fun. And as you saw, one of my wands, this is a handcrafted wand. I have several of them um, that I've had crafted for me. And it's a piece of wood that's approximately the length of, I'm short, so it is the length of your elbow to the tips of your fingers. And it is, this one is absolutely gorgeous. Um, this was one that I actually won at our Carillion auction. So I was very lucky to get this one. But I have quite a number of them that I've collected over the years. You can get whatever you want for that. Don't feel bad if you have to collect your altar piece by piece. That makes it more fun, and that makes each piece memorable because you know what you've collected it for. Take your time with your altar, enjoy what you get with your altar, and have fun with it. As we go on through this, we'll be answering all of your questions through our Q&A section. And if you have a question about building an altar, I can lead you in the right direction. I recommend this is wonderful for me because I have 3 drawers and lots of good stuff, and I didn't pay that much for it. In fact, the paint cost me more than the actual object did. I have a smaller one that is just a 2 foot by 2 foot square that is on 4 legs, and that's called my altar to go because I can pick that up and throw it in the back of my car, and it has a large pentacle painted on the front, so it's good to go anytime I am. Um, just try to keep your altar as uncluttered as possible, just to keep that on the fire hazard. I harp on that a lot because I've managed to set robes on fire, altars on fire, you know, Athames on fire. Yeah, I'm really good at that. So learn from my mistakes and try to keep the altar as decluttered as possible, or always make sure you have a cup of water by so that you can do this. I will answer any questions on this at each ritual that we do. So I hope you enjoy. This is just a beginning statement. As we go through each ritual, you'll learn more and more each time. Again, the rituals will be placed in the chat section so that you can download them and print them off. We will start our rituals pretty much on time. I will open early so that everybody can get in and print off the rituals or get settled and have them come up on a screen, however best that you can do it. I prefer paper rituals, and that way I can keep them for posterity. So all I can say is have fun, start looking for your ritual items now, and enjoy it. In order to consecrate them, you can do it by fire or by moonlight. Charging them on a full moon is a great way. We'll go over a charging ritual so that you're able to charge all of your new stuff that you end up collecting. So, and every month you can recharge it just like your moon water. So, sit back, have fun, and let's get going.